My sister called me ugly in front of everyone, so I gave her fiancé the truth in a box. The thing about hope is that it makes you stupid. It makes you believe that this time will be different, that maybe your sister has finally grown up, that family means something more than a photo opportunity for her Instagram feed. Hope made me walk into Bella's bridal boutique that Tuesday afternoon with a smile on my face and excitement in my chest. I should have known better. Maya, there you are. Brielle's voice cuts through the boutique like champagne glass hitting marble, sharp, bright, and somehow expensive. She's standing in the center of the shop like she owns it, which, knowing my sister, she probably thinks she does. Her honey blonde hair catches the light from the crystal chandeliers, and her emerald engagement ring throws tiny rainbows across the white walls. She's surrounded by her usual circle, 3 influencer friends who look like they stepped out of a lifestyle magazine, all perfect teeth and strategic highlights. Their phones are already out, documenting every moment of Brielle's authentic bridal journey for their combined 1 million followers. "I'm so glad you could make it," Brielle says, pulling me into a hug that smells like Chanel No. 5 and feels like a performance. "The bridesmaid dresses just came in, and I can't wait for you to try yours on." The boutique owner, Mrs. Chun, approaches with a garment bag draped over her arm like it contains the Holy Grail. "Miss Maya, we've been so excited to have you here. Your sister speaks of you constantly." I doubt that, but I smile anyway. "Thank you. I'm excited too." That's the last true thing I say for the next 30 minutes. The bridesmaid dress is beautiful, I'll give Brielle that. It's a deep forest green that should complement my dark hair and brown skin. The fabric feels like water between my fingers, and for a moment, standing in the dressing room, I let myself imagine that I look good in it. I should have stayed in that dressing room forever. Come out, Brielle calls, her voice sing-song and impatient. "We're dying to see." I take a breath, smooth the fabric one more time, and step out. The silence hits me first. Then the giggles start, quiet at first, like air leaking from a balloon, then growing louder. Brielle's friend Jasmine covers her mouth with her hand, but her eyes are crinkled with barely contained laughter. Madison has her phone up, and I can see myself on her screen, the way the dress pulls tight across my chest, how it's somehow both too long and too short in all the wrong places. "Oh, honey," Brielle says, and there's this tone in her voice, the same one she used when we were kids, and she'd explain why I couldn't play with her and her friends. Pity mixed with disgust, wrapped up in fake sweetness. "We might need to adjust some things." Mrs. Chin steps forward with her measuring tape. "Of course, all bridesmaid dresses need alterations. It's completely normal." No, Brielle interrupts, waving her hand dismissively. "I mean, yes, alterations, but Maya, sweetie, you have to understand. This is my wedding. These photos are going to be everywhere. My followers expect a certain aesthetic." The room feels like it's shrinking. I can feel everyone's eyes on me, cataloging my flaws, measuring me against some impossible standard that Brielle has always effortlessly met. "Maybe we could try a different style?" I suggest, my voice smaller than I want it to be. "Something more forgiving?" That's when Brielle laughs. Not the polite, social laugh she uses in public, but the real one. The one that sounds like breaking glass. "Oh, Maya, you're such a sweetheart, but let's be honest here." She turns to her friends, including them in the joke. "We can't exactly put a filter on real life, can we?" Jasmine snorts, and Madison is definitely recording now. "I mean, look," Brielle continues, gesturing at me like I'm a piece of furniture she's considering returning. "The dress is gorgeous. The model who wore it in the designer's lookbook was stunning. But on Maya..." She trails off, shaking her head with that same pitying smile. "It's like putting a Hermes bag on, well, you know." The boutique staff has gone very quiet. Mrs. Chun looks uncomfortable, but she doesn't say anything. She needs Brielle's business more than she needs my dignity. She's like a walking before picture. Brielle says to her friends, and they all laugh like it's the funniest thing they've ever heard. Like they're used to this. Like this is just how Brielle talks about me when I'm not around. I laugh too. I don't know why. Maybe it's shock. Maybe it's 26 years of conditioning. Maybe it's just easier than crying in front of these people who see me as nothing more than content for their social media feeds. But inside, something breaks. Not dramatically, not with a crash or a bang. Just a quiet crack, like ice starting to split on a frozen pond. "You know what?" I say, forcing my voice to stay light and casual. "You're absolutely right. This dress deserves better than me." Brielle beams like I've just agreed with her about the weather.
"See? This is why I love you, Maya."
"You're so reasonable. So practical." Practical. That's what she calls it when I swallow my pride and pretend her cruelty doesn't cut me to the bone. I go back to the dressing room and change into my regular clothes, jeans and a sweater that Brielle would probably describe as aggressively ordinary. When I come out, they're already discussing alternatives. Maybe Maya could do a reading instead? Madison suggests. You know, something from the back of the church where she won't be in the photos? Or she could handle the guest book, Jasmine adds. That's important too. They're talking about me like I'm not standing right there, like I'm a problem to be solved rather than a person to be included. And Brielle just nods along, considering their suggestions like they're planning a business merger instead of a family wedding. "We'll figure something out," Brielle says finally, giving me another one of those hugs that feels like a dismissal. "The important thing is that you're there to support me on my big day." Support her. Always support her. Never mind that she just humiliated me in front of strangers and filmed it for posterity. Never mind that she looked at me, her only sister, and saw nothing but an embarrassment to be managed. I leave the boutique with my cheeks burning and my chest tight with unshed tears. The hope I walked in with has been replaced by something else, something cold and sharp and patient. I drive home in silence, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles go white. At every red light, I see my reflection in the rearview mirror. Ordinary brown eyes, unremarkable features, nothing special, nothing like Brielle. But as I sit in my apartment that night, staring at my phone and the 17 missed calls from various family members who've already heard about the bridesmaid dress situation, I realize something important. I'm tired of being reasonable. I'm tired of being practical. I'm tired of being the sister who smiles and nods and makes everyone else's life easier by pretending their cruelty doesn't matter. And as I remember the sound of Brielle's laugh, that glass-breaking, soul-crushing laugh, I think about the conversation we had last week. The one she doesn't remember having. The one she definitely doesn't remember me recording. The one that's still saved on my phone waiting. For the first time in hours, I smile. And this time, it's real. You ever hear someone tell the truth when they think no one's listening?
I did.
And let me tell you, the truth sounds nothing like the pretty lies people tell in daylight. It was a Tuesday night, exactly 1 week before the bridal boutique incident. I was in my kitchen, making tea, and trying to forget another family dinner, where Brielle had spent 2 hours talking about wedding plans while I sat there like a piece of furniture. My phone buzzed at 11:47 p.m. Brielle never called me. Ever. We texted occasionally, usually her asking me to pick something up or do some errand she was too busy to handle. But a phone call? At midnight? Something was wrong. Maya? Her voice was thick, slurred around the edges like melted butter. Maya, are you there? Brielle? What's wrong? Are you okay? She laughed, but it wasn't her usual crystal-sharp sound. This laugh was messy, broken. Am I okay? That's funny. That's really fucking funny. I'd never heard my sister swear before. Not once in 26 years. Brielle was all about maintaining her image, her brand. Profanity didn't fit her aesthetic. Where are you? I asked, already reaching for my keys. Despite everything, despite years of her treating me like I was invisible, she was still my sister. Do you need me to come get you?
No.
I'm home. Marcus is at his bachelor party thing. God, those guys are so boring. Do you know what they're probably doing right now? Playing poker and talking about their feelings. She snorted. Marcus actually thinks that's fun. Talking about feelings. I should have hung up. I should have told her to drink some water and go to sleep. Instead, I found myself settling into my kitchen chair, tea forgotten, phone pressed tight against my ear. Brielle, you're drunk. Maybe you should. I'm not drunk. I'm honest. There's a difference. She paused, and I could hear ice clinking against glass. You want to know something funny, Maya? Something really, really funny. My finger hovered over the hang-up button, but something in her voice stopped me. Vulnerability, maybe. Or desperation. I'd never heard either from Brielle before. What? I cheated on him. The words hit me like cold water. What? I cheated on Marcus. Twice, actually. Well, technically 3 times if you count twice. Definitely twice. She giggled, and the sound made my skin crawl. Aren't you going to ask me with who? I wasn't sure I wanted to know, but my mouth moved without my permission. With who? The first time was with Derek. You remember Derek, right? From high school? He slid into my DMs like 6 months ago, and I was feeling, I don't know, nostalgic? We met at that hotel downtown, the fancy one with the rooftop bar. God, he still kisses the same way he did when we were 17. Derek Morrison. I remembered him. Captain of the football team, dated Brielle for 2 years before she dumped him for someone with better college prospects. He was married now, had 2 kids, and a mortgage in the suburbs. And the second time? I asked, even though every instinct told me to stop listening. Oh, that's the really good one. Brielle's voice turned sing-song, like she was sharing gossip at a sleepover. Remember when you brought your friend Jake to Mom's birthday dinner? The one who couldn't stop staring at me. My blood turned to ice.
Jake.
Sweet, kind Jake who'd had a crush on me since college but was too shy to do anything about it. Jake who'd spent that entire dinner being polite to my family while I fell a little bit more in love with his kindness. Jake was so easy, Brielle continued, oblivious to the fact that she'd just shattered something precious. One text about how I was feeling lonely and needed someone to talk to, and he came running. We fucked in his car, in the parking lot behind that coffee shop you two always go to. What's it called? The Grind. The Grind. Our place. Where Jake and I had spent countless afternoons talking about books and dreams, and everything except the feelings hanging between us like morning fog. He kept saying it was wrong, Brielle laughed. Kept talking about you and how guilty he felt. It was actually kind of pathetic. But he didn't stop. Men never do, you know? They just want to feel guilty about it afterward. I was shaking now, my phone slipping in my sweaty palm. This was too much information, too many secrets, too much ugly truth spilling out like poison from a broken bottle. Why are you telling me this? I whispered. There was a long pause. When Brielle spoke again, her voice was different, smaller, more like the sister I remembered from childhood. Because you're the only one who won't judge me. You never do. You just take it. Whatever I give you, you just take it and smile and pretend it doesn't hurt.
She sighed.
God, Maya, sometimes I think you're the strongest person I know. Or maybe the weakest. I can never tell which. Brielle. Marcus is such a good guy, she interrupted. Too good. He brings me flowers every Friday and remembers how I like my coffee and thinks I hung the fucking moon. He doesn't deserve this. He doesn't deserve me. Then why? Because I'm bored. The word exploded out of her like a gunshot. I'm 28 years old, and I'm about to marry a man who thinks the height of excitement is trying a new restaurant. Do you know what he got me for my birthday? A subscription to a meditation app. A meditation app. Maya. She was crying now, messy drunk tears that I could hear through the phone. I love him, she continued. I do. But I'm not in love with him. And I'm too much of a coward to call off the wedding because everyone expects Princess Brielle to have her fairy tale ending. The dress is bought, the venue is booked, the photographer has been paid. How do I tell 300 people that I'm not ready to be someone's wife? The line went quiet except for her ragged breathing. Maybe you should tell Marcus, I said finally. Give him the choice. Brielle laughed, harsh and bitter. Tell Marcus? Are you insane? He'd leave me. And then what? Then I'm just another 20-something with a failed engagement and an Instagram full of lies. Maybe that would be better than. The line went dead. I stared at my phone screen, Brielle's name still glowing. The call had lasted 43 minutes. 43 minutes of secrets and confessions and ugly truths that she'd never meant for me to hear. That's when I realized I'd been recording the entire conversation. My phone had this feature. It automatically recorded calls from unknown numbers for security. But somehow, it had kicked in for Brielle's call too. Maybe because she was calling from a different phone, or maybe because she'd been drinking and her voice recognition was off. Whatever the reason, every word was saved in my phone's memory. Every confession, every cruel detail, every moment of weakness. I should have deleted it immediately. Should have pretended the conversation never happened. Instead, I saved the file to 3 different cloud accounts and went to bed. I told myself I'd never use it, that I was just keeping it as insurance, as proof that I wasn't crazy, that my sister really was as cruel as I sometimes thought. But deep down, in the part of my heart that had been breaking slowly for 26 years, I knew better. I knew that someday, the truth would matter more than family loyalty. I just didn't know it would be so soon. The rehearsal dinner looks like something off Pinterest, but the people feel paper thin. Everything is perfect in that calculated way that screams professional wedding planner. Fairy lights twist around white columns, casting a warm glow over tables dressed in cream linens and gold accents. The centerpieces are exactly the right height, tall enough to be elegant, short enough for conversation. Even the temperature feels controlled, engineered for maximum comfort and photo opportunities. I arrive fashionably late in a navy wrap dress that cost more than my monthly grocery budget but was the only thing in my closet that Brielle hadn't criticized. The parking lot is full of luxury cars that gleam under the venue's spotlights like jewelry in a display case. Maya, my mother's voice cuts through the ambient chatter and string quartet music. She approaches with her arms outstretched, looking radiant in a champagne-colored dress that probably cost more than my rent. "You look lovely, sweetheart." She means it, which somehow makes it worse. Mom has always been kind to me, but in that distant way of someone who loves you but doesn't quite understand you. I'm the practical daughter, the reliable one, the one who never caused any drama or demanded attention. "Thanks, Mom. Everything looks beautiful, doesn't it?" Brielle has such an eye for these things. She glances around a room with pride. "Did you see the escort cards? Each one is hand calligraphed. It took weeks to get them right."
Of course it did.
Because nothing in Brielle's world can be simple or ordinary. Everything has to be an event, a moment, a memory worthy of documentation. I scan the room and spot Marcus near the bar, looking handsome in his navy suit and nervous smile. He's talking to his brother, his best man, but his eyes keep drifting toward the entrance, waiting for Brielle to make her grand appearance. My chest tightens. Marcus is good. Genuinely, purely good in a way that feels rare in this world of filters and facades. He opens doors and remembers birthdays and calls his mother every Sunday. He's the kind of man who brings soup when you're sick and actually listens when you talk. He deserves better than my sister. He deserves the truth. "Maya." His face lights up when he sees me approaching. "You made it. I was starting to worry you might skip out on us." "Never," I say, accepting his warm hug. "I wouldn't miss it. And I mean it, though probably not in the way he thinks." "You look great," he says, stepping back to look at me properly. "I love that color on you. Very sophisticated." This is what Marcus does. He sees people. Really sees them. When Brielle looks at me, she catalogs flaws. When Marcus looks at me, he finds something genuine to compliment. It's not flirtation. It's just kindness. The kind of basic human decency that should be ordinary, but feels revolutionary in my family. "How are you holding up?" I ask. "Getting nervous?" He laughs, running a hand through his dark hair. "Terrified, actually. But the good kind of terrified, you know? Like before a job interview you really want or a first date with someone special." Innocent. That's the word for Marcus. Not naive. He's too intelligent for that, but innocent in the way that people are when they still believe in fairy tales and happy endings. "She's lucky to have you," I say, and I hate how true it is. "I'm the lucky one," he replies automatically, then pauses. Though I have to admit, she's been a little stressed lately. More than usual. Wedding planning is tough, I guess. Before I can respond, The room's energy shifts. Conversations quiet, heads turn, and I know without looking that Brielle has arrived. She glides through the entrance like she's walking a red carpet, wearing a white cocktail dress that manages to be bridal without being too bridal, a perfect preview of tomorrow. Her makeup is flawless, her smile radiant, and her hand rests on her father's arm like she's already practicing for the main event. The room collectively exhales in appreciation. This is what Brielle does best. She commands attention without asking for it, makes everyone else feel like supporting characters in her story. Marcus's face transforms when he sees her. Pure adoration, the kind of love that poets write about and cynics mock. He moves toward her like she's a magnet, and he's helpless metal. I watch their reunion. The kiss that's perfectly timed for the photographer lurking nearby, the way she laughs at something he whispers in her ear, the performance of perfect love that everyone believes because they want to believe it. My clutch feels heavy on my shoulder. Inside, nestled in a small white jewelry box I bought this morning, is a USB drive containing 43 minutes of truth. The weight of it seems impossible for something so small. Dinner passes in a blur of toasts and laughter and carefully choreographed perfection. I sit at the family table, smiling and nodding while Brielle's friends document every moment for social media. The food is exquisite, the wine flows freely, and everyone talks about how perfect everything is. Brielle gives a speech about love and family and new beginnings. She thanks everyone for being part of their journey and talks about how excited she is to start this new chapter with Marcus. The words flow like honey, sweet and golden and completely artificial. I notice she doesn't look at me during the speech. Not once. Marcus's best man toasts to true love and second chances, which makes everyone laugh because Marcus has never needed a second chance at anything. He's one of those rare people who gets it right the first time. The irony tastes bitter in my mouth. As the evening winds down, guests begin to filter outside for the send-off. Sparklers and rose petals and more photo opportunities. But I hang back, watching Marcus through the window as he stands alone on the venue's back patio, looking up at the stars. He does this when he's thinking, finds a quiet space, and just breathes. I've seen him do it at family gatherings when Brielle gets too intense, or during stressful work conversations. It's one of the things I've always admired about him, this ability to find peace in chaos. My hand trembles as I reach into my clutch and pull out the small white box. It looks innocent enough, the kind of box that might contain earrings or a delicate necklace. No one would suspect it holds the power to destroy a wedding. The rational part of my brain screams at me to put it back, to go home, to let tomorrow happen as planned. But the part of me that's been crushed and dismissed and humiliated for 26 years has other ideas. I think about Brielle's laugh in the bridal boutique, about Jake's betrayal, about Marcus's innocent smile, and the way he deserves so much better than the lie he's about to marry. The truth isn't always kind, but sometimes it's necessary. I take a deep breath, check to make sure no one is watching, and step outside into the cool night air. Marcus looks up as I approach, his face breaking into that warm, genuine smile that makes my chest ache. "Hey," he says softly. "Beautiful night, isn't it?" "It is." I agree, settling onto the bench beside him. "Marcus, I need to give you something." The box feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds as I place it in his hands. Truth doesn't need to scream. It only needs the right moment to breathe. Marcus turns the small white box over in his hands, his brow furrowed in that way that makes him look younger than his 31 years. The patio lights cast shadows across his face, and I can see the question forming before he asks it. "What's this?" He glances back toward the venue, where laughter spills through the French doors like golden light. "Maya, if this is a wedding gift, you didn't have to." "It's not a wedding gift." My voice comes out steadier than I feel. "It's something you deserve to know before you marry my sister." The words hang between us like smoke. Marcus goes very still, the kind of stillness that comes before storms or revelations or the moment when everything changes forever. I don't understand.
Of course he doesn't.
Marcus lives in a world where people say what they mean and love who they claim to love. He's never had to decode hidden meanings or question motives or wonder if the person sharing his bed is sharing someone else's too. I stand up, my legs unsteady. Listen to it when you're alone, and then do whatever you think is right. He's looking at me now with those dark eyes that miss nothing, trying to read my face like a book written in a language he doesn't quite speak. Maya, you're scaring me. What's going on? Inside the venue, someone calls his name. Probably his brother, wondering where the groom-to-be has disappeared to. Tomorrow is going to be a long day, and everyone wants Marcus well-rested and happy. Everyone except me, apparently. I can't explain it, I say, taking a step backward. I wish I could, but I can't. Just promise me you'll listen to it before tomorrow. Listen to what? He pops open the box, and I hold my breath. Inside, nestled in white satin like a precious stone, is a small USB drive. Nothing more, nothing less. Just a tiny piece of plastic and metal that contains the power to unravel everything. Marcus stares at it for a long moment, then looks back at me. This is a flash drive. Yes. With what on it? I think about lying, about making up some story that would be easier to digest, easier to dismiss. But I've spent 26 years watching other people lie, and I'm tired of adding to the collection. The truth, I say simply. He laughs, but it's not his usual warm chuckle. This laugh has edges. That's cryptic, even for you, Marcus. I step closer, close enough to smell his cologne and see the tiny scar above his left eyebrow from a childhood accident he once told me about. Do you trust me? The question surprises us both. We've never talked about trust before, never had reason to. I'm just Brielle's sister, the quiet one who shows up to family dinners and birthday parties and never causes any trouble. But something in my voice must convince him, because he nods slowly.
Yes.
I do. Then trust me now. Listen to what's on that drive, and then make your own decision about tomorrow. Someone calls his name again, closer this time. Through the window, I can see his brother scanning the room, looking for him. I have to go, Marcus says, but he doesn't move. He's still staring at the USB drive like it might bite him. So, do I? I turn to leave, but his voice stops me. Maya. When I look back, his face is serious in a way I've never seen before. Whatever this is, whatever you think you're doing, are you sure it's the right thing? The question hits me like a physical blow. Am I sure? Have I ever been sure of anything in my entire life? I don't know, I admit. But I know that you deserve better than lies. Even pretty ones. For a moment, we just look at each other. Two people standing on the edge of something that can't be undone, both afraid of what comes next. You could throw it away, I say quietly. Pretend I never gave it to you. Go through with the wedding and live happily ever after. Could I? He closes the box with a soft click. Could you? The honest answer is no. I could never go back to sitting at family dinners, watching Marcus adore my sister, while knowing what I know. I could never watch him plan anniversaries and birthday surprises for someone who thinks he's too boring to be faithful to. But I don't say that. Instead, I just shrug. That's your choice to make. His brother appears in the doorway, relief flooding his face, when he spots Marcus. There you are. Come on, man. People are looking for you. Time for the big send-off. Marcus pockets the box and pastes on his public smile. Coming. But before he follows his brother inside, he turns back to me one last time. Maya, he says, and his voice is different now. Older.
Sadder.
Like he already knows what he's going to find on that drive. Thank you. I want to tell him not to thank me yet. I want to warn him that some truths are harder to carry than lies. I want to apologize for being the messenger who's about to destroy his fairy tale ending. Instead, I just nod and watch him walk away. The send-off is everything Brielle planned it to be, magical and romantic and perfectly documented for social media. Sparklers write golden words in the dark air, while rose petals fall like snow. The photographer captures every kiss, every laugh, every moment of orchestrated joy. I stand at the back of the crowd, watching Marcus smile for the cameras while my sister clings to his arm like she's afraid he might disappear. The white box sits in his jacket pocket, invisible but present, a secret weight against his heart. Brielle catches my eye across the crowd and gives me a little wave, her engagement ring catching the light. She looks radiant, victorious, like a queen surveying her kingdom. She has no idea that her kingdom is built on sand. As the happy couple drives away in their decorated car, trailing tin cans and good wishes, I wonder if I've just saved Marcus from a terrible mistake, or if I've just destroyed the last bit of innocence in a world that has precious little to spare. I guess I'll find out tomorrow. Or maybe I'll find out tonight, when Marcus goes home to his empty apartment and decides whether some truths are worth knowing. The parking lot empties slowly, guests heading home to prepare for tomorrow's celebration. I sit in my car for a long time, watching the venue staff clean up the remnants of tonight's performance. My phone buzzes with a text from my mother. Beautiful evening. See you bright and early tomorrow for hair and makeup. 3 exclamation points. Mom always uses 3 exclamation points when she's trying too hard to be cheerful. I type back, can't wait, and add my own trio of lies. Then I drive home through empty streets, past sleeping houses where normal people are dreaming normal dreams, and I wonder what I've set in motion. In 12 hours, Brielle will walk down the aisle in her $1,000 dress. Whether there will be anyone waiting at the altar to meet her depends on what Marcus does with the truth I just handed him. I've thrown a stone into still water. Now all I can do is wait for the ripples to reach the shore. I came to watch my sister get married. I ended up watching her get unmade. The morning starts wrong. Not catastrophically wrong, just off. Like a song played in the wrong key or a photograph that's slightly out of focus. I arrive at the bridal suite at 8 a.m. sharp, carrying coffee and pastries from Brielle's favorite bakery. The suite itself is a temple to wedding perfection. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the garden, fresh white roses in crystal vases, and enough champagne to float a small boat. But something feels different. The air has that electric quality that comes before storms, when even the birds go quiet. Maya, my mother rushes toward me, her hair already styled in elegant waves, but her eyes bright with stress. Thank God you're here. We need all hands on deck today. Where's Brielle? Mom gestures toward the bedroom. Still sleeping. I've been trying to wake her for an hour, but she says she has a headache. She lowers her voice. Between you and me, I think she had a few too many glasses of champagne after you all left last night. I nod and set down the coffee, but my hands are shaking. Did Marcus listen to the recording? Did he confront Brielle? Or is she just hungover from celebrating what she thinks will be the perfect day? The other bridesmaids arrive in a flurry of excitement and matching robes. Jasmine and Madison are already live streaming, documenting every moment of Brielle's big day for their followers. The makeup artist sets up her station like a surgeon preparing for operation, brushes and palettes arranged with military precision. At 9:30, Brielle finally emerges from the bedroom. She looks terrible, not just tired or hungover, though she's definitely both. She looks hollow, like someone has scooped out everything vital and left only the shell. Her skin is pale beneath her tan, and there are dark circles under her eyes that no amount of concealer will hide. Morning, sunshine. Jasmine chirps, phone already pointed at Brielle. Ready to become Mrs. Marcus Wellington? Brielle flinches at his name. Actually flinches, like someone just slapped her. I need coffee, she says, her voice rough. And aspirin. Lots of aspirin. The makeup artist, a tiny woman named Claudia who's done celebrity weddings, takes one look at Brielle and starts pulling out heavy-duty concealer. No problem, honey. We'll have you looking like a goddess in no time. But as the morning progresses, it becomes clear that no amount of makeup artistry can fix whatever's wrong with Brielle. She sits in the makeup chair like a mannequin, staring at her reflection with vacant eyes while others fuss around her. Has anyone heard from Marcus this morning? Mom asks, checking her phone for the 15th time. He was supposed to call and confirm the timeline. My stomach drops. Maybe he's just busy getting ready? His brother texted an hour ago asking if we'd heard from him. Mom continues, her voice getting higher. Apparently he never came back to the hotel last night. The room goes quiet. Even Jasmine stops filming. What do you mean he never came back? Brielle's voice is small, almost childlike. I'm sure it's nothing, Mom says quickly. Men handle stress differently. He's probably just went for a drive or... She's interrupted by a knock at the door. A hotel staff member enters, looking uncomfortable in the way people do when they're delivering bad news. Excuse me, ladies. I have a delivery for Miss Brielle Carson. He hands her a small, white envelope. The same size as a wedding invitation, but heavier somehow. More final. Brielle stares at it like it might explode.
Well,
Madison prompts, her phone still recording. Open it. With trembling fingers, Brielle tears open the envelope. Inside is a handwritten note and something else, something small that clinks when she moves the paper. As she reads, the blood drains from her face completely. Her hand starts shaking so violently that she drops the note, and I can see what was wrapped inside. The small white jewelry box. The one I gave Marcus last night. What does it say? Mom asks, reaching for the note. But Brielle snatches it back, pressing it against her chest like a shield. Nothing. It's nothing. Brielle. Mom's voice has that edge it used to get when we were kids, and one of us was lying. What does the note say? For a moment, I think Brielle might actually tell the truth. Her mouth opens, closes, opens again like a fish gasping for air. Then she looks directly at me, and I see it in her eyes, the knowledge. She knows exactly what was on that USB drive. She knows that I know. And she knows that Marcus knows too. Ask your sister, she whispers, her voice barely audible. Ask Maya what's inside. Every head in the room turns toward me. Mom, the bridesmaids, the makeup artist, the photographer who's been quietly documenting everything. They're all staring at me like I hold the answer to a riddle none of them understand. Maya? Mom's voice is confused, worried. Sweetheart, what is she talking about? I could lie. I could pretend I don't know what Brielle means, could play innocent and confused, and let her figure out how to explain why her groom has disappeared on their wedding day. But I'm tired of lying, tired of pretending, tired of protecting people who wouldn't protect me. I gave Marcus something last night, I say quietly. Something he deserved to know before he married Brielle. The silence that follows is deafening. Madison has stopped filming, her phone hanging forgotten in her hand. Jasmine looks like she's witnessing a car accident. Mom stares at me like I've just spoken in a foreign language. What kind of something? Mom asks. Brielle makes a sound that's half laugh, half sob. Tell them, Maya. Tell them about your little recording. The word recording hits the room like a bomb. Everyone starts talking at once, questions and accusations flying like shrapnel. But I only hear one voice clearly. You recorded me? Brielle's voice is pure venom now, all pretense of victimhood gone. You recorded a private conversation and gave it to my fiancé? You called me, I say simply. You were drunk and you told me things. I didn't plan to record it, but you kept it. She stands up, the makeup cape falling from her shoulders like a discarded costume. You kept it and you gave it to him, and you ruined everything. I didn't ruin anything, I say, standing too. You did that yourself. She lunges toward me, but Mom catches her arm. Stop it, both of you. What is going on? Brielle jerks free, mascara starting to run despite Claudia's waterproof promises. Your precious little Maya destroyed my wedding. She recorded me admitting to. She stops, glances around the room at all the eager faces, and clamps her mouth shut. But it's too late. The damage is done. Everyone in the room understands now that whatever I recorded, it was bad enough to make a groom disappear 12 hours before his wedding. Mom sinks into a chair, her face pale. Oh, Brielle, what did you do? And that's when my sister finally breaks. Not elegantly, not like a movie heroine with perfectly placed tears. She breaks ugly and loud and completely, screaming and sobbing and throwing things while 5 grown women watch in horror. The wedding that was supposed to start in 3 hours is over before it begins. And I'm the one who ended it. She called me ugly. She tried to bury me. But now I stand on truth, and that's something she can't wear like a gown. The aftermath of a canceled wedding is like watching a beautiful building collapse in slow motion. First the structure gives way, then the decorations, then the dreams, until all that's left is debris and the echo of what might have been. I don't stay to help with the cleanup. While Mom makes frantic phone calls to the venue coordinator and Brielle locks herself in the bathroom, alternating between sobs and rage, I quietly gather my things and leave. No one tries to stop me. No one even notices I'm gone. The hotel lobby is full of confused wedding guests in their finest clothes, clutching gift bags and whispering among themselves. Word travels fast in a crowd this size, especially when the story is this good. The groom has vanished. The bride is having a breakdown. The wedding is off. I walk through them like a ghost, invisible in my simple dress, while they buzz with speculation and barely concealed excitement. There's nothing people love more than watching a perfect life implode, especially when that life belonged to someone who seemed to have everything. My phone starts ringing before I reach the parking lot. Mom first, then my Aunt Sarah, then numbers I don't recognize, probably reporters who've somehow gotten word of the Carson family scandal. I turn it off and drive home in blessed silence. My apartment feels different when I walk in. Smaller, maybe, or just more honestly mine. No borrowed glamour, no reflected light from someone else's spotlight. Just me and my books and my quiet life that nobody wants to photograph or document or judge. I make tea and sit by my window, watching the world continue its normal Saturday routine. People walking dogs, kids playing in the park across the street, elderly couples moving slowly down the sidewalk hand in hand. Real life, unglamorous and beautiful in its ordinary way. The first text comes 3 days later. Marcus, thank you. 2 words. That's all. No explanation. No details about what happened after he listened to that recording. No discussion of his feelings or his future plans. Just acknowledgement that I did something he needed me to do. I stare at the message for a long time, my thumb hovering over the keyboard. I could ask him if he's okay. I could apologize for being the one to shatter his illusions. I could try to explain why I did what I did. Instead, I delete the conversation without responding. Some things don't need words. The fallout is predictably dramatic. Brielle's Instagram goes dark for the first time in 5 years. No stories, no posts, no carefully curated glimpses into her perfect life. The silence is deafening for someone who built her entire identity on being seen. Mom calls me once, her voice careful and diplomatic. Your sister is struggling, she says. She's staying with me for a while. Maybe you could call her. No, I say simply. Maya, she's family. So am I. There's a long pause. Then, what she said to you at the dress shop, that wasn't okay. I should have said something. Too little, too late, but I appreciate the effort. It's fine, Mom. Is it? For the first time in years, I consider the question honestly. Is it fine? The humiliation, the years of casual cruelty, the way my own family treated me like an afterthought in designer clothing? It will be. I say finally and mean it. The rumors follow me for weeks. At the grocery store, at work, at the coffee shop where Jake and I used to meet, people whisper and stare and try to piece together the story. I become the sister who ruined the wedding, which is both true and not true in the way that all good gossip is. Jake tries to call me exactly once. I don't answer. Whatever he wants to say, apology, explanation, justification, I don't need to hear it. Some betrayals are too complete for words to fix. 2 months after the wedding that wasn't, I run into Marcus at the bookstore downtown. He's in the poetry section, looking older and quieter, but somehow more solid, like he's finally grown into his own skin. We nod at each other, a moment of recognition between 2 people who survived the same storm from different angles. How are you? He asks, and his voice is different now. Less eager to please, more certain of itself. Better, I say, surprised to realize it's true. You. He considers this different, but maybe that's good. We stand there for a moment, surrounded by books full of other people's stories, other people's truths and lies and complicated relationships. For what it's worth, he says finally, I'm glad you told me. It wasn't easy, but it was right. It wasn't right. I correct him. It was just necessary. He smiles a real smile, not the performance version I remember from family dinners. Maybe that's the same thing sometimes. Maybe it is. I buy a book of poetry that afternoon, something I've never done before. The poems are about transformation and finding beauty in broken things and learning to love the parts of yourself that other people find ugly. At home, I read by my window as the sun sets, painting my small apartment in shades of gold and amber. My phone sits silent on the kitchen counter. No frantic family calls, no social media notifications, no desperate attempts to manage my image or fix other people's problems. For the first time in 26 years, I'm not worried about whether I'm pretty enough or perfect enough or acceptable enough for someone else's standards. Brielle was right about one thing. I am ugly. Ugly in the way that truth is ugly, that honesty is ugly, that standing up for yourself is ugly when everyone expects you to stay quiet and small and grateful for scraps. But I'm also free. Free from the weight of other people's secrets. Free from the performance of being the good sister, the reliable daughter, the one who never causes trouble. Free from the mirror that showed me nothing but flaws because that's all anyone ever looked for. My reflection in the window shows a woman I'm still getting to know. Not beautiful in the way magazines define it, not perfect in the way social media demands, but real in a way that feels like coming home after a long journey. The wedding that didn't happen freed more than just Marcus from a lie. It freed me from a lifetime of being someone else's shadow. And that, I think, watching the last light fade from the sky, is worth whatever comes next. I am ugly, according to my sister. I am ugly and I am free. And for the first time in my life, that feels like enough.
The end.